Hello, welcome to Harris Football. This is Dave Piper. Let's talk about Deebo Samuel. While I was going over the Deebo Samuel film, it got me thinking back to the beginning of 2019 and how excited I was for Dante Pettis. Coming off of his rookie season, and Pettis was also going to get a healthy Jimmy G. And the future was so bright, but after just a few weeks into the season, Pettis was nowhere to be found. He was barely getting snaps week to week. When he was getting snaps, he wasn't really getting looks on the field. And plenty of us noticed some other people were getting passes, like guys like Deebo Samuel. 2019 was Deebo Samuel's rookie season. And admittedly, I'm not a college football enthusiast, so I'd never really heard of the guy. But one thing I really latched onto is his moves after the catch. Like sometimes he'll make a cut or a step back that's, honestly, it's kind of confusing to see it, just to get an extra yard or three. He has real fight in him. His legs are always kind of moving. Sometimes he never goes down. And I really like guys with fight in them. And I could go on and on about how tough this guy is. He's 5'11", 215 pounds, coming out of South Carolina. But this is a YouTube show, so let's just get into it. The Niners like to use Deebo with jet sweeps and end-arounds, and I'll get to why I think that is later. But here's the play. And notice number 44, Juszczyk, fakes the block to the right side before Deebo takes the handoff. There's a fake to Mostert, and then, as you can see here, once he gets the ball in his hands, he has a way of finding seams. And when he gets out into space, he has a great knack for following his blockers, especially when the blocking is this good. There's a nice spin at the end, and yes, he does keep his foot in. He does. So it's nice to see this kind of work out of the rookie.
Okay, gang, it's Harris. A quick break to say thanks to Felix Gray for sponsoring this film review. I spend a lot of time on screens. We all do. You've heard me say this on the podcast. I was getting headaches at the end of a long day. 60% of Americans suffer from digital eye strain. I can personally tell you Felix Gray glasses can help. Every pair of Felix Grays filters out blue light. They're like sunscreen for your retinas. You can get them in prescription or not. They have a ton of frame styles to choose from, and shipping and returns are always free. If your eyes are bugging you, I can personally recommend them. Seriously, go to felixgrayglasses.com/HarrisTube, and really, we thank them for sponsoring.
Back at it with more open space moves from Deebo Samuel. Here we have play action with a fake to Mostert, and the O-line sells it well, and Deebo's open on his short slant here on the left side of the field. And it's plays like this that really capture what Deebo Samuel can bring to the field. Once you get the ball in his hands, he just has great moves. He makes a good two-hands catch, and his first instinct is to look upfield for more yards, which is nice to see. He sees pressure from the safety, and that's Lano Hill there, who just seems to have taken the worst line to Deebo Samuel because he just completely misses the tackle. Now, when I really slowed it down and really watched this, you can see Deebo sees the tackler and then makes a strong step with his left foot to move himself back in the field of play. I think that's what causes the missed tackle, but either way, Deebo avoids the hit. He nearly runs into his own blocker here at the 35, but manages to get outside of the block. He kind of jumps over his legs and makes a small hop cut on the corner, Shaquille Griffin, who I honestly at this point is probably a little tired and turned around on the play, but Deebo finally goes down about 12 yards after, where I think when he kind of runs into his blocker, a lesser athlete might try to just take that inside and go down and get your first down, but Samuel, pushes for extra yards. He shows just how tough he can be when you get the ball in his hands. Here's a screen against the Rams. He's on the left side of the screen here. His route's in orange. One of the reasons San Francisco had so much success in the offense this year is their blocking, and you can see it here too. But even when the blocks don't quite hold up, like here on number 58, Samuel has moves to get into space, even if there's not much space to work with. And he's incredibly good after the catch, with pretty good vision and really surprising burst. He has a way of jetting into a seam and kind of putting his head down and keeping his legs churning to get an extra 5-6 yards, just like we see here. If you ask me, the door is wide open for Deebo in San Francisco. Emmanuel Sanders is a free agent, and actually today he's rumored to go to Dallas, and we have no reason to believe that Pettis is going to make his way back into the lineup in 2020. We can't know what's going to happen in the offseason with signings, and maybe some of this will change, but it seems that Samuel is the future of the position on this team. Last year, he managed to stay healthy for an entire season, playing in 15 games, which is surprising when watching the film. He's always working for more yards and fighting to extend the play. I hate saying that he has that thing, but he has it. He has that get off of me, this is the direction I will be heading thing, and I love it. What I don't love about Deebo is his hands. I'm not saying he lacks the ability to catch balls outside of his frame, but sometimes his hands forget what they're doing. He has some bad drops. I mean, you're seeing some of them here. Some of them they are in his hands, and I don't quite understand how they don't stay in his hands. On one of the plays, he kind of wasn't wearing a glove, like his glove was half on or it got ripped off. I'll try to show it to you here. It's just confusing stuff. It's puzzling at times. He was third in the league last year in drops behind Edelman and Michael Gallup. And there's always an argument to be made that he could get it together. He is a rookie, and tons of wide receivers learn to catch better as they progress and gain comfortability in the league. Calvin Ridley did it this year. Maybe Deebo will do it next year. Only time really will tell. I also don't love that while I was going through the plays, I noticed he was flagged a ton. So I looked into it, and he was actually the fourth most flagged wide receiver this season and the third most flagged person on his team. So that's something to pay attention to. Coaches don't love that. There's something about Deebo Samuel, and I don't know what it is, but I know that he's not a giant guy. He's not a guy that's going to jump over defenders, and he's not a guy that's sure-handed, He's not lightning fast down the field. He's not going to outrun, get behind defenders, but there's something about his intensity on the field that makes me want to have him on my team. He was the leading receiver in San Francisco last year. The situation is looking even better for 2020. It seems that if he can learn to close his mitts and focus just a little bit more, he'll be able to be a staple in one of the most productive offenses in the league. I'm not sure I'll be reaching for him in many drafts this year, but he'll definitely be on my radar.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.